And hello everybody, and welcome to the 6th annual NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series All-Star Race. We are live from M&Ms Superspeedway for 25 laps, 25 cars, and we got Dillon as well. Thanks for joining me.
It's good to be back. It's been a while, and I've been away for a little bit, but I'm glad to be back, and I love this place. Every season we do it here, it's an amazing race. I just love this track. It is a big, wide track. We've seen like 5, 6 wide, and we got 25 competitors ready to go at it for 25 laps. Irony thing right there, but ready to go racing. It's going to be a fun one to watch with you, Seth.
And we got a lot of drivers not only coming in momentum with wins this season, but a lot of drivers in with one-race deals with wins from last season, including the pole sitter, Hayden Klein.
Yeah, I mean, these drivers, like I said, when they're in here for these one races, it's all about winning. They don't want anything less than first. And Hayden Klein got to put in a good situation in a Turner Scott Motorsports truck that team's really done well this season, along with like James McLeod winning multiple races and Dillon been up there in the points. So they've been up there, and that's a good truck to be in, that 32, and expect to see that truck actually stay toward the front as strong as that team's been over the course of the season.
Another driver we have to talk about, another one-race deal driver, Sky Commons coming in driving the 73, and he's the guy who won this event last year. What do you think? Is it possible for him to go 2 for 2 here?
I think it's absolutely possible. I mean, he did a great job last season of avoiding problems and got himself to the front and ended up getting the win. So I expect to see Sky up there at least competing for the win. So I think, like I said, anybody has a chance to win today. It's all about staying away from the trouble whenever somebody gets wrecked and you have to avoid it. So it's all about wreck avoidance and trying to be up at the front at the end of this race.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the 3 drivers who actually have transferred their way into this race. They were not locked in. They had to use the different events that took place during the All-Star Race weekend here to get in. Aaron Williams Jr. and Tyson Broad had to race their way in, finishing first and second in the Open. They got a little bit more experience than these guys because they've been in racing situations so far at this track, so they know the conditions. Is that going to be a key factor and a key difference?
I think it will help them out. They already know what the track is like you said, and I mean they already know what to expect. But it is a whole different atmosphere when you're actually in the big show. I mean, these are the bigger names and the guys that won this season that have shown that they could be at the front and win races and compete and stuff every week. And I mean, they had to get it through the Open, and they were probably racing with less experienced drivers. A lot of them probably were rookies, but I expect them to they could possibly hook up. They maybe know how to work with each other, and they should be fine. I think they'll be good to go through this race.
Okay, and it's also time to reveal who ended up winning the Fan Vote Award. He's going to be starting off from the 25th position, and that's Danny Wells in the 5. Again, he was in the open race, so he's got a little bit of experience here. And with Aaron Williams Jr. getting in with winning the open race and Sean Henley being in this field, it's an opportunity here for a little bit of Hendrick teammates to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. Hendrick really wasn't looking that good before the Open. They only had one truck in the race with Sean Henley, and Aaron Williams Jr. winning the race and Danny getting the fan vote really is going to help the odds for a Hendrick truck to pull into victory lane tonight. Well, I should say today, but I think it will help them out, and maybe they'll try to hook up and get to the front. We might see a 3-car tandem between those Hendrick trucks and moving their way straight to the front here today.
All right, well, let's not waste any time. Let's get these trucks rolling off. They're going to complete a couple of pace laps. While they do that, these drivers are going to hold their breaths and pray that Dillon and I don't pick them for our driver to win this thing, because most often than not, our batting averages are pretty low.
Yeah, pretty low, like 1%.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so here's your starting lineup for today's 6th annual Oreo Truck Series All-Star Race. Lights are out top of the pace truck. You know what that means. We're going green next time by.
Ice cream break. Oh,
we have ice cream up here now too. Man, we're getting our budget a little bit higher. We're getting all these treats in the booth.
I think he made like 75 cents the last month, so that I guess that paid off for both of us.
Hey,
Since
we're
I don't
running
make
a
anything.
profit. That's great.
I think the chair foundation for me, I think that raised about 20 cents too, so that helped a little bit.
It didn't come from me, I can assure you of that. Wait, what?
Oh. Oh, wait, that was me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you contributed your own fund.
I
Anyway,
donated
we got to give you
myself.
guys some picks here for this race. Dillon, who are you looking at?
I'm looking at the person that actually won back at Dover randomly that won the truck race. I'm going to go with Dillon Young. I feel like he's a really good restrictor plate racer, and Dillon Young has been around for a while, and I feel like that 84 truck is ready to pull through and get a victory here today in this All-Star race. So look at that 84 to win today.
All right, I'm going to go with the guy who's actually starting up on the front row. I'm going to go with Andy Timmons because he's had quite a rookie season, and we've talked about all week long. This track is slightly different surface, but it's almost like Coca-Cola Speedway, and Timmons picked up his first Truck Series win of his career at Coca-Cola, so I think that the similarities between the tracks may play into his favor today.
We'll have to wait and see what happens. There goes the pace truck. We're about to go racing here, Seth. I'll let you take it away.
We are. 25 laps of racing await these drivers. Cautions are on, and we are green and underway at M&Ms Superspeedway.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Is there a girl in this race?
There are. Yeah, we got Maggie Vidarvo in this field.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Bruins Littlejohn as well.
We'll have to keep up with that fail count again before this starts, too. The whole weekend.
Yeah. Maybe we can break our record from last year.
I hope not.
I don't remember what a record was last year. Was it 5 or 6 or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Hayden Klein, though, pulls out to the early lead. It looks like the 23 did not get a good jump right there. It looks like that inside is going to be the preferred line to go once again.
I think you're right. I think though, if you can get one car on the inside line, 2 cars lined up in that middle group or outside line off of turn 2 or turn 4, they do get that run. We saw that with Aaron Williams Jr. They're getting help from Alex Tanker in the Oreo Open. They were able to beat the inside line of Tyson Broad and Noah Hart. So if you can get a drafting partner there, the middle and outside line can work. So that could come into play here late.
Yeah, like that right there we saw with the 62 and the 32 right there. He slid up right in front of Hayden Klein and got him that run. But man, they were 4 wide going into turn 1. That looked very sketchy.
Yeah, it was. They were 4 wide, 2 rows deep, I think. And how about Emilio Navrat? I mean, I talked about Andy Timmons, but there are a few drivers here who have some Daytona experience and Talladega experience. Navrat ended up winning up at Talladega. Is it actually a little bit more of an edge if you win at a restrictor plate track than if you win at just a normal speedway coming into an event like this?
Well, it gives everybody the idea that you know how to go around a restrictor plate, but I mean, it does help to know that you won that race.
Oh, spin! We got spin in the back!
There's the wreck.
Prudence Littlejohn's gone around, Max Russell's involved, and oh, Poteeth's flipping!
Oh, what are the odds?
Oh, still flipping.
Great clips down.
I just got hit by Sean Henley.
Well, he's dead. I mean, oh.
Oh, Dollarton just ran into the back of Henley. Wow. Luke Walker's in it.
Oh.
Prudence Littlejohn.
That was a huge wreck.
That was. There were a lot of hard hits taken. And I think Sky Commons may have gotten through it. I don't know. Uh-oh, another car up ahead's got damage. That's Anthony McCurry there, along with his young driver, Max Russell. They may have gotten involved, too.
Yeah, Anthony in a one-race deal. This wasn't what he had in mind. That's a tough break for him. A lot of these drivers, like a one-race deal like him, just not what they needed. And man, look at the front end of that truck. The 62 is looking pretty bad right now. Luke Walker, there's no front end on that truck whatsoever.
Yeah, Luke Walker was actually leading a while ago, then just got shuffled up to the high side, and apparently he was caught up in this. I don't know where the wreck actually started. And look who's up in the lead. The guy who started this race dead last, Danny Wells, the fan vote winner, along with Tyson Broad, who finished second in the open race.
I guess it was good to start in the back, but like we said, we just saw wrecks were going to be a big problem today, and trying to avoid them, it covered up the whole track, and it just devoured a few of the competitors today. And we saw one, Dylan Poche, going over and flipping multiple times, and that was a pretty bad wreck. But nonetheless, we got the first caution within 3 laps, which isn't a surprise at this track.
A couple of drivers deciding to stay out here, as a majority of the field's going to come down, make some pit stops this early on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's too early to do to have to pit and everything. Some of these drivers maybe are trying to stretch it and maybe see if they can make it on one stop. I feel like maybe in some situations.
McLeod and Eric Burton getting together on pit road.
Door banged.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I'm surprised
Oh, the
McLeod
8 truck
actually
might
made
have
it
a
to
little
his
bit of
pit
damage.
stall.
Yeah. I figured something would have happened. He would have got glitched out of it or something, but he actually got away with that one. That was a close
And go into your
call for James McLeod, a 3. So,
yeah, and go to your point with them trying to maybe work some fuel strategy. I don't think any of these drivers end up taking any tires at all.
no, like I said, 3 laps or so going into this race. There wasn't really much of a point, I guess, to do that. It didn't hurt anything, but it didn't hurt anything as well. Like, gain anything out of it, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, some of these guys just trying to be conservative, maybe try to make it a one-stop.
We'll see if that's going to work out for them. Danny Wells is currently the leader. Let's take a look and see what put us under caution for the first time here today. And here's a look at what happened. They were 5 wide coming off of turn 4.
And that doesn't seem like it's going to go to plan, and there they go. 20 car gets shoved up the track.
I think it was
and
the
that all you can
33
say.
of Zach Rogers getting into Max Russell, and that's what just triggered the whole thing. Oh, wow, Anthony McCurry wheel hopped.
Yeah, he did. That was a lot. There's where he got his damage.
That was one of the best buy
Yeah,
dodges.
that's McCurry. I'm pretty sure it's him, I believe. And the track just gets covered. Henley spinning. Looks like Chris Dollarton is spinning.
Oh, look at the 98, how close he was to the entrance of the pit road wall. That brings back memories.
Oh, yeah, it does. We almost had a trip to the Wicked Witch again. and of all people, I'm looking over the 31. The 31 actually got tipped over by his own teammate, James McLeod.
Yeah, he did.
He goes around the back of Cruz Littlejohn, and Pochi goes for a flip in that great clip Chevrolet.
And
somebody's trying to avoid him.
I think Sky gets by. That was a pretty nice miss.
Yeah, that was very close. When you see a car flipping in front of you, you kind of won't have a temptation to freak out, but Sky kept his calm cool, like PewDiePie said at one time, and drove right around that 31.
Now, we're going to watch here. Poteet then hit the grass, and that's what made his truck continue to flip, but watch Henley. I mean, Henley was driving away from that incident there with, I guess it was Chris Dollarton and Luke Walker, and he's going to hit Poteet somewhere right there.
Yeah, the 31 actually started flipping back toward the racetrack, and it actually, I think he went more into the path of Henley than Henley just driving down into the 31, but I don't know, that was just a bad deal right there. There's a couple of friends getting into each other right there, and more than likely both their days are over with the smoke from the 88 and the 31, you know, barrel rolling, so looks like Henley and Poteet's days are done, and like...
A lot of times the common misconception that a lot of people have is that when the car... Oh, man, Luke Walker. And here comes Chris Dollarton. Hard into the back of Henley. Wow. And the common misconception of this is that a lot of times people think when a car goes into a barrel roll, it actually kills their momentum, but a lot of times it actually speeds up the momentum of that car flipping. And it looks like we've lost Poteet for a second, so why don't we head over to our live action and bring Poteet back in. And we're getting ready to go green as I'm in this new booth, and we're gonna...
finally I'm here. You went so far away.
I'm sorry.
I'm out of breath.
It's a better view over
I'm
here.
here too. That's true. I need an aspirin.
You need an aspirin.
My head hurts.
Check the medicine cabinet. That's in the old booth.
Come on. Now I just see Claritin. Last time I saw Claritin,
Danny Wells out
no,
in
sorry,
front.
Sorry, Carl.
Yeah, poor Carl. Danny Wells is leading the way here, and Danny right now is one of, I think, 7 drivers who decided to stay out. So we'll have to see if a caution does come out, if it's going to play into the favor of these other drivers who decided to pit. As I'm counting here, I believe it was actually a total of 8 drivers. These 8 drivers stayed out. Danny Wells, the leader, Tyson Broad, 2nd, Dillon Young, 3rd, Trent Dunham, 4th, Stephen Pollard, the 3rd, 5th, then Sean Galligan, the pole sitter Hayden Klein, and last year's winner, Sky Commons. Top 10 completed by Eric Burton and Aaron Williams Jr., who were first on, first off of pit road. What do you think? I mean, we got 25 laps here. We're going to be going back to green with about 19 to go. Is it possible, do you think, to stretch it here at a track like this?
It's possible if they get the caution. Now, I believe there'll be another caution. I don't think we're done wrecking here today, so I don't expect it to go green from here on out. So if the cautions do fall right, some of these drivers like Danny Wells, Tyson Brad, Dillon Young might try to stretch it. I mean, they got nothing to lose. Like, and these one race field drivers as well are the same situation. And so we might see somebody try to stretch it if we get the right cautions and everything.
Well, we're going to find out. We go back to green here on lap 7 of 25. Now, here's a question. Suppose this thing does not have a caution come out until, like, the very end. You saw drivers coming down just topping off on lap 5. How far do you think these guys can go without having to make a green flag pit stop?
I want to say if we don't have another caution, I feel like 14 to 16 might be the window for these drivers that did not pit. And maybe some of these other drivers might be able to stretch to about 20, the ones that actually topped up. I still don't think they're good to go, because I still think they pitted a little early to make it the rest of the way. So I'm not sure if anybody's actually safe at this point. But if we get a mid-race caution, I think it'll change the whole complex of the race, and everybody should be good to go. And we're going 4 wide for the lead.
Yes, we are. Hayden Klein going to go right down there. And here come the drivers, Eric Burton, Aaron Williams Jr. They were on pit road. And going back to your point with possibly these guys not being able to make it too, because this is a track where, yeah, you do need to have drafting partners in the turns, but then when they get to the front and back straightaways, they just spread out. So there's not a whole lot of conserving fuel as far as running a draft with somebody.
Yeah, it looks like they're not really trying to conserve any fuel right now. So it's like try to get to the front and stay up front. It looks like how their mentality is right now. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not a thing they're thinking about right now. Maybe they do expect another caution to come out and really help them on the fuel situation. And maybe they're just racing it right now and see what happens. But like I said, they'll all have to have their crew chiefs telling them that they might have to pit, though, because there's no way that any of these guys can make it to lap 25 here on fuel.
No, I very much doubt it. I mean, they probably have to be running at the back and conserving fuel, and especially if this thing does go into a long green flag run or something, you don't really want to do that because, yes, you're all spread out here, but there is that aerodynamics where you don't want to lose the tail end of this pack.
Yeah, that was a close call right there. I was watching Stephen Paul at the third. He went about 3 lanes down to block, and he really killed Danny's momentum coming off turn 4. That was a close call right there with the 99 and the 5, but now Danny's going to take the lead. He's like, I'm not going to let you have that again.
And Sean Galligan coming right behind him. Galligan, who was, I believe, was a 3-time winner last season in the Truck Series. And he's trying to pick up his first win of this season. Of course, it would be a non-points event, but of course, that locks you into next year's All-Star race as well. And how about this one race deal? Another Dodge team, and that's Maggie Vaydarva, who again was another 3-time winner last season, and that was in a car that came in mid-season.
Yes, right now really running well right now. She's doing a great job up here running toward the front. Maggie's one of these drivers I think that could actually pull off the victory today. She doesn't really race that much, and all the well, actually no, she is the full-time driver. That's right. But she can really pull this off. She really did good last season. I think she can do some this season as well and possibly win this race. Yeah,
the Vaydarvas in trucks have always done pretty well. Of course, her brother Rohit Vaydarva, who is a former Oreo Truck Series Rookie of the Year, and Maggie Vaydarva, as we said, a 3-time winner last season. How about Zach Rogers here? Now, we talk about coming into the All-Star race, how you need momentum. Zach Rogers was the last driver to win a points-paying event so far this season when he won at Riki Raceway. That could come into play here with the fact that he just came off a win.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them ran well at Riki Raceway and got the win, so very big win for him. And I think it'll help him out a lot since he just won, like you said. Momentum is a big key here in the series, and usually you see it carry over in the few weeks after it.
And I've seen a few drivers who actually did get a little bit of damage back from that last incident, our only caution of the day. Anthony McCurry's actually worked his way back up here. Max Russell's in the middle of this pack, so a couple of drivers actually able to continue on and be up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they have the draft, they're in good shape. But once they lose the draft, it's over for them. They're just a sitting duck on the racetrack, losing, like 2 seconds a lap to the leaders because they're just like way off the pace. So they have to stay up here if they want to stay in this draft and with them having damage. As soon as they lose the draft, it's going to be over for them. So it's going to be key for them to stay up here in this pack and keep the speed going.
Well, we ended up having our first caution come out after 3 laps of racing. So far now, they've been able to run just a little over 5 laps without bringing out the caution flag. Do you think they just had to get that the excitement out of their system there, and then now they're able to settle down and race a little bit?
I mean, yeah, the first couple of laps they had to get it out of their system, like you said, and they were really antsy to get going. And they were spread on 3, 4, 5 wide on the first lap, and I knew it was just brewing for problems right there. And I think now they know what happened. They saw the wreck, and now they just want to try to keep the racing good, keep it calm, and try to just get a few laps under green and see what happens, and maybe try to test some stuff out before this race is over. Maybe calculate some possible moves near the end of the race to see where you have to be.
Well, we are now just past the halfway.
If you want to try to win this race.
We're just past the halfway point here. We saw a lot of different strategies going on. We saw drivers trying different lines. We saw drivers using some pit strategy. Now we're in the second half of the race. What kind of strategy are these drivers thinking about at this particular point?
Well, I think right now, knowing now that it's going green for a little bit, now they're really going to start worrying about their fuel situation, because it looks like it is going green for a bit, and we might get people start pitting pretty soon within the next couple of laps. And I don't know, if like I said, if anybody can stretch it to 20, even those guys that did pit the top off, I mean, that's a kudos to them. But I mean, like I said, it's almost seems like it's going to be impossible to do that. So they're going to have to start thinking about who they're going to possibly have to pit with if we don't get a caution and find people to draft with.
Now we know, James McLeod looks like he actually had to come down pit road. I don't know if that was to repair some damage to his car or not, because there is a little bit of a buckle on the front of that 30. But we do know that the drivers that came down pit road back on lap 3, they did get it full of fuel. They are 3 laps better on fuel than these other drivers. So basically, I think we can calculate whenever drivers start making pit stops, these guys can make it about 2 or 3 laps more.
Lag.
We got lag here.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, they have a little bit more of a cushion right now. I heard what you said there, but they have a bit of a cushion with those extra 3 laps. They could probably try to stretch it a little bit longer. Maybe they could try to find people to work together and draft and maybe get a couple more laps out of it. Like I said, if the longer you go, the less fuel you'll have to take once you pit. So if these guys try to make it as far as they can on fuel, all they do is get the splash and go, and they'll be way out ahead of everybody. So teams probably trying to stretch it as far as they can too, and thinking about the possibility of having to take less time on pit road with a pit stop.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm just going to pose a question to you here. We got John Cittadino running up here at the front. He ended up winning the season finale at Zen Joltis last season. He's, as we know, the defending Snickers Cup Series champion. Some cars are pitting. We'll get to that in a moment. But John Cittadino is not doing very well in the Snickers Cup Series right now, trying to defend his title. Could a win here in an Oreo Truck Series All-Star race in a one-race deal, could that be a momentum changer and turn the luck around to 42 in the Snickers Cup Series?
I mean, a win could always help a driver confidence-wise and get them back going. Cittadino, you know, like you said, being the defending champion, he really does need a good run over in the Snickers Cup Series. He's had a dismal season in that 42. It's not been the second season after his championship. Not really been a great run so far, but I think he could really get some with this win if he can pull it off. Any kind of win you get is a momentum builder, no matter what. And it looks like he got a couple of pit stops going on early.
Yep, Tyson Broad, pole sitter Hayden Klein, Sky Commons, and Trent Dunham all came down pit road this time. Oh, and there's a car spinning around! That was one of the Best Buy cars. And it was Maggie Vedaro. A couple drivers had to come down pit road to avoid.
Oh. That could change everything right here.
That could. Keep in mind, a couple of those drivers, those 4 drivers, Dunham, Hayden Klein, Sky Commons, and I don't know who the other one was. I'm trying to remember. I believe it was Eric Burton. No, it was Tyson Broad.
I think it was Tyson Broad.
You're right.
Yeah.
They ended up coming down. They are maybe good to go on fuel because we're going to have a total of, I think it's going to be 8 laps to go when they hit the stripe.
Yeah, that was a big-time lucky break for those 4. They're probably going to be at the front of the pack now. I believe they stayed on the lead lap as well, and that was a huge break. We got a couple other cars that came down pit road. I don't know if they were on pit road.
Stephen Paul III, Dillon Young, they all came down pit road to avoid that wreck and made pit stops in the process.
I'm not sure, though, if they came down when it was open or closed right there. We might have to keep an eye on that. They might get penalized, the second group of cars, but not sure. But They might have got away with it. We'll have to wait and see. But those first 4 trucks got very lucky in that situation. They should be 1 through 4 if they don't have to pit again. I'll be surprised if they actually pit again, but see what happens. Is Charles Jackson actually came out with the lead out of nowhere.
Yes, he did. We're going to take a look now at a replay of our second caution with only a handful of laps left to go. Now here's a look at what happened to Maggie Vadaru. And I'm almost wondering, I don't know if she came up into Eric Burton or if Burton was trying to come to pit road, but they both just intersected each other and Galligan had nowhere to go.
I think Maggie actually slid up. I was watching the line of the 85 truck, and it looked like she actually was sliding up, and I don't think Eric Burton knew about it. Man, they hit Anthony McCurry down the inside, the other Best Buy truck. Galligan got another piece of it.
There's McLeod. Oh, McCurry's going to get the wall.
Johnson and Dino back there. I saw Johnson and Dino barely avoid, I think that was, I don't know if it was Galligan or Radaravu. I went back there and saw that 92 squeak against the wall. Dillon Young, these guys are on pit road now. I don't know if pit road was closed yet. That could be big on them as well.
Yep, right there.
Right there with 85.
Nearly got him.
That was a close call for the defending Snicker Cup Series champion right there. Wow.
Now let's take a look here.
It's Eric Burton, Anthony McCurry, they just had nowhere to go.
We're gonna back up right about here. This is right when Danny Wells has crossed the commitment line. Let's see if we can move up to a driver that was up by the start-finish line. And see, yeah, the lights were on.
The lights are already on the pace car.
So I don't know if they're going to receive a penalty for coming down pit road then or not. Now, now of course, you know, they came down pit road to avoid the wreck, but the fact they made a pit stop could be what goes against them.
Yeah, it looks like they're all three might be in trouble. They might not. It's the officials who have to go and take a look at that and see the timing of that.
Well, let's see if they actually did pit. Did they? Yeah, they did.
Yep. Eric Burton pitted as well as he was down there, and Anthony McCurry. So they just went ahead since they're there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with those guys.
Boy, it could be very interesting to see if any penalties get handed out to them or something. I think if they had actually just come down pit road and that's it, they might not be in any jeopardy. But the fact that they actually made a pit stop, that could be the deciding factor.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the wording is on those guys, and that could make or break their race. Like I said, this could take them out of contention to win this race because we're not going to have many laps to go once this race gets restarted.
You're right about that. Charles Jackson currently out in front. Let's jump back to what could be the final restart of the day.
Yay!
Getting ready to go back under the green flag, and apparently that strategy we were wondering if it was going to work against Danny Wells, Dillon Young, Stephen Paul III did not work against them. They are going to restart first, third, and fourth with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and then Prudence Littlejohn, I don't know where that 20 truck came from, but up there in second place, I believe, and wow, that was a good call by them as well. So these trucks really did do a good job, and they got very lucky, a lot luckier than that first group we saw with Trent Dunham and them, but that's basically almost the top 10 of these 2 groups of trucks that pitted before that caution. That was huge for all those teams.
Yeah, and and I was looking during the caution laps here, a lot of different interesting things going on. We of course had Danny Wells come down pit road when that spin out of Maggie Darvas took place. Charles Jackson inherited the lead, he came down pit road. Zach Rogers stayed out an extra lap, then he gave up the lead to come down pit road. So a lot of swapping of the lead here, and apparently it goes back to what you were saying. They could not all make it without coming down pit road at least one more time.
Yeah, now in this situation, there's no more worries about the fuel. It's all about racing here on out. We're going to have 5 laps, so they don't have to worry about saving fuel now. They don't have to worry about conserving. It's time to go racing now, and the fan vote winner is out in front leading right now. And like I said, 5 laps is going to be pretty tough for Danny to hold on, but he'll do what he can to try to make that truck about 6 lanes wide to try to hang on and try to win this for Hendrick Motorsports.
Well, maybe they don't have to worry about tires, maybe they don't have to worry about fuel, but they do have to worry about James McLeod just up ahead there on the tail end of the lead lap in the 21st position. We know he made an early pit stop, and it does look like he's got a little bit of damage, so I don't know if he's going to be up to speed with these guys or not.
We'll have to wait and see. As the green flag is out now, hopefully McLeod's up to speed, because that could play a factor the fuel getting separated as well.
Well, I think McLeod got a better jump than Danny Wells, but apparently you can see there is a speed difference as Danny's going to jump to the inside. And look at Dillon Young, your pick coming down to the inside line, looking for 3 wide for 3rd place right there.
Ooh, man, that was close. McLeod up there as well. They almost made it 4 wide, and Danny has the lead, and him and Stephen Pollard the third right next to each other once again. They've had their issues today. Again, probably showing a little bit of displeasure from the 5 truck over to the 99, but they had to work together and it didn't work out. And Danny's going to get freight trained by like a handful of trucks on the outside.
They just add a little bit of more fuel to the fire. We talked about how they're going to go racing here now. Well, we are past the 5 lap to go mark. If we end up getting down to about 4 to go, 3 to go, these drivers, if a wreck happens, may end up ending this race under caution. So they're going to want to get to the front as soon as possible.
I was looking back there, the 78 Amelia never just back, but they were all indoors back there in the back. I don't know how they didn't wreck. Wow, I saw it in the corner of the screen off turn 4. That was close. Look at the damage on the back of that Furniture Row Chevrolet. He's up there battling for a top 10 spot with the rear end all jacked up and everything. That is an incredible drive by Emilio right there.
Yeah,
wow.
No doubt about it. I'm also seeing up there the Sky Commas machine. I think he's got a little bit of a buckle on his hood in that 73, and he's still up here racing with these guys.
I haven't even seen the... Oh, I was going to say, I hadn't seen Charles Jackson, but there he is. He was the leader under caution. He's just now getting back toward the front, but he's getting freight trained now. And look at the 73 right now. Scott Commons going for the lead on Tyson Broad, but he doesn't have the help. And look down the bottom. There's the open winner, Aaron Williams Jr. We haven't even talked about him today. He's up here battling for the lead.
Yeah, he just got stuck in the sucker hole, but he was able to find a spot behind Sky Commons. And here comes Trent Dunham, Eric Burton, his teammate. They're working up here to the front. And Zach Rogers, who was the last driver to hit pit road before we went back to green, that 33. He's there on the inside line, drafting with Andy Timmons.
And I see one of the Best Buy trucks up there, actually up towards the front. That's Anthony McCurry. He is still in this race. He's still on the bottom.
And he backed into the inside wall on that last spin.
And he's up to speed with racing with these guys. How about that?
Oh,
look at that
goodness.
80 truck.
Oh, almost 5 wide there. That was close.
They are 4 wide, really close. Andy Timmons in them. Look out.
Can they keep it together? They do keep it together. 2 to go. And look who's up in front. Tyson Broad, Sky Commons, Trent Dunham.
And Sky Commons in the place he wants to be. He wants to be first, but he might have been there a lap too early. Can Sky make this 2 wins in a row in 2 seasons?
It'll be the first time ever we've had a multiple winner in an all-star race event in a single series. Several drivers have been close, but not been able to close the deal. And take a look back here. Some of these drivers we haven't talked about yet. There's John Cittadino. There's Cody Lamas in the 39.
He's trying to work his way back up there. He had no help on the bottom. Stephen Pollard the third trying to go into him now. But a lot of these names we haven't talked about are all up at the front. A lot of these one-race deal drivers are up there. And Scott Commons has lost the lead.
Yes, he has. Tyson Broad now going to go to the lead. 3 wide as they come to the white flag. 4 wide as Dunham sticks it down to the bottom.
Oh, if that was a photo finish, that would have been awesome. But here we go. What is going to happen here? Sky Commons going to work with Trent Dunham for the lead.
And look where Sky Commons would be coming out of turn 2. In the number 2 spot. He actually wants to go for the lead now.
He's actually going under him. He's there. Look at Dillon Young coming up the middle.
And look at the inside line. Cody Lamas, Stephen Pollard the third, Charles Jackson.
They are all shoving each other. Now Pollard's going to stick out under the 39.
Oh, they're going to go 4 wide into the turn 3. 4 wide for the lead.
Oh, look how close these guys are.
And here comes Charles. Charles making the move for the lead.
He's under him.
Hayden Klein's offering drafting help down low.
Oh, drag race, 3
drag
wide.
Race, Pollard, Jackson, Hayden Klein there, 3 wide.
Whoa! Pollard got it.
Pollard the third, I think, got it.
He had like a fender on the 42. Wow.
Holy cow.
He was way back there on that last lap before we took the white. He was way back, and he was working with Cody Lamas and Charles Jackson on the bottom. And they made a heck of a run on the back straightaway. Wow.
And Stephen Pollard the third was one of those 3 drivers who came down pit road during that spin we thought was going to be penalized.
Yeah, he fell back on that restart. We didn't even see him until basically the back stretch of the last lap. And wow, where did he come from?
Stephen Pollard III locked himself into this race by winning last season at Pocono. In his rookie season, the Truck Series last season, he also made the chase. And here he'll continue on his legacy in Season 6 with an all-star race victory. And man, for a moment there, I thought Hayden Klein was going to stick with Charles Jackson. I think that would have made the finish even closer, but 3 wide photo finish, and Stephen Pollard III on the outside line gets it done.
That was a crazy race for sure, though. And like I said, the 32, if he would have stayed and helped the 42, I mean, that might have made the difference. But when you're coming off the final straightaway and you have an opportunity to win, you got to go for the win. You don't want to help somebody else win in this situation. So Hayden did the thing he had to do and tried to win the race. But overall, great race, and that 99 car definitely deserved it today. Stephen Pollard III is your winner. Great race.
As we look at it, it looks like they're saying it was 2/100ths of a second Stephen Pollard III beat Charles Jackson by. We're going to jump back, take a look at a still photo of just how close that finish was. And there's the picture, folks. That's how close it was. Stephen Pollard III, and man, Hayden Klein was awfully close to making that a three-man fight for the win.
Hayden really tried to make it. He wanted to be the pole sitter and win the race. I don't know if that's ever happened before in the one-year All-Star races, but he was trying to make something happen for himself as well. And look who's right there in the back, in the foreground of that picture right there. That 73, though. Sky Commons that close to get it 2 seasons in a row. Just was a lap too early getting to the front and just fell back to 4th right there. But still good run for him, but just tough run.
As we take a look here, I believe the photo finish was actually 7/100ths of a second between the top 3 there. And for Sky Commons, Hayden Klein, quite a return for both those drivers. Top close. 5 finishes here in one-race deals.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot about Hayden was one of those drivers as well. So, I mean, those 2 drivers, you know, with the rest of them, like Anthony Curry and a couple of the other ones, they just were out there just trying to win the race. They're here for one race with one race only, and they weren't wanting anything less than first, but they should give themselves a pat on the back for those good runs. They ran up front, led some laps, and McCurry definitely got an award for comeback of the race. For all the wrecks and stuff he was in all day, I think he still managed to finish up there pretty well, and actually was at the finish, so good run for him. Johnson Adino, a couple of other drivers. Luke Walker didn't have the run he wanted to have, and, you know, just wasn't a lot of these guys wanted to have, but it's an overall good race.
Yeah, it looks like with our official standings, Tyson Broad actually completed the top 5. Then it was Cody Lamas. Your pick, Dillon Young, got 7th. Danny Wells was 8th. Dunham in 9th. And my pick, Andy Timmons, came home in 10th place. And a lot of drivers up here that we actually didn't really talk a whole lot about today. We didn't talk a lot about Cody Lamas. We didn't talk a lot about your pick, Dillon Young, and Trent Dunham there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him up there, and like Dunham and Young were a couple of drivers that were hitting early and before that caution, and that helped them out at the end. Probably kept them up in the top 10 and allowed them to have a good finish like they did. And Cody Lamas, I believe, that 39 stayed out back probably most of this race, and he was in the right position, just didn't have the help. He got freight train on the backstretch and just kind of ruined that momentum he had. But good run for that 39 team, and it's good to see these drivers we didn't talk about much and had a lot of struggles during the season have good runs, and good to see them running good, even though it's a non-point race. Still a good run for them, and hopefully will help them in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, one of those drivers you're talking about, Stephen Pollard III, not having the best of seasons right now in the 99. This could definitely turn around his momentum for the second half of the regular season.
Absolutely.
Well, this race is in the books, but we still got 2 more All-Star races to come, Mobile and Snickers. It's going to be exciting there. And Dylan, I want to thank you for joining me for today's event.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here and looking forward to those next couple of races and hoping for even better action. It was a great race to start off the weekend here in the All-Star weekend, and ready for some more racing. It's going to be fun.
All right, well, folks, hope you enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Also, be sure to subscribe to Dylan's channel, DylanTag22. Link to his channel is in the description. Click it or die. And we will see you guys next time here on the SRA Sports channel, Offline Racing at its best. And I'll let Dylan end this with a random comment.
Lemon juice!